Okay, everybody, thank you so much for joining the call tonight. Tonight, we're focusing on fuel you feed your body in two different avenues. Sometimes I'll have clients that will talk about home delivery services, and I've had individuals share with me their overall thoughts on how those are. The one that's on the screen, LeafSide, is something that Beverly Westberg, who's going to present in just a few minutes, and I had talked about because Dr. Greger, who is a very well-established plant-based doctor, ambassador for plant-based living, whole food plant-based living, puts his name on this. I did not know this. Beverly shared, hopefully I'm not taking away your thunder, but she shared with me the other day that he actually receives no profit from LeafSide. He wants to just say this is actually a very good, healthy product. She's going to get into the details of it in just a minute. So we're going to talk about that for maybe 15 or so minutes, so you guys have a good idea of what this is and if it's something that would help you with your very busy lifestyles. And then we're going to roll to just some Q&A about eating out, the challenges with eating out, as well as maybe some helpful hints from the group of ways that they can do that where they don't go off the rails with what they're doing to try to eat as healthy as possible. So having said that, let me just kick it off to Miss Beverly Westberg. The floor is yours. Just tell me when to advance a slide.
Okay. Well, first of all, like you said, I was looking for a home delivery system. I know Christina talked about one. I've thought about other ones. And I was looking for something ideally that's really healthy, because I know there's a lot of home delivery systems that have oil and, have a lot of fresh produce and stuff like that. But, it could easily fall by the wayside. The stuff's going to get thrown in the trash because it gets spoiled or, whatever. So anyway, food prep is hard for me. And so I need something to kind of support me in trying to eat healthier rather than always eating at drive-throughs or whatever. So I I was looking at different ones and I kept seeing Dr. Greger pop up. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna give it a try. And it seemed to check all the boxes in terms of extremely healthy, extremely fat-free, compliant with the whole food plant-based, fat-free, salt-free, sugar-free. I mean, it's got the natural stuff, but it doesn't have added stuff. So I thought that was pretty exciting. So it seemed to be the healthiest option, at least at this point in time. I'm going to try some other ones, I think, in the future too. The next slide. Okay, Dr. Greger, as I said, you'll see him pop up if you're on Facebook at all and you've ever clicked on him. He'll pop up a lot of times with LeafSide. And the reason LeafSide even came about was from his book, How Not to Die. That's where they started getting the idea of the Daily Dozen. Every one of their meals is supposed to have like 8 out of 12 of the Daily Dozen, stuff like that. But anyway, I'd called the company and I'd heard that he did not profit, but I did call the company and I was asking some questions. They said he absolutely does not profit, nor does his nutrition.org website. And I said, well, it seems like it would be nice if it did, because that is a great service for people. And they said, well, he doesn't want to have anything that is considered unethical or whatever. So, the site operates mostly from donations and stuff. But anyway, so he promotes it, and then you'll see Robert Cheek next to him. I don't know if he profits off of it or not. I doubt it, but I know Dr. Greger does not profit at all from it. So I thought anyway, that was kind of interesting. The positives of this program, I think, is that, like I said, it's whole food plant-based, it's salt, oil-free. It's extremely simple preparation. All it takes is either hot water, which is usually from a boiling kettle of water, or cold water with ice for the smoothies. And that's it. Just the water. That's all you add. It's very simple. And because the food is freeze dried, it's got an extremely long shelf life. Excuse me. It's got an extremely long shelf life. All you do is reconstitute it with water. It does not need to be refrigerated. It does not need to be refrigerated at least for 2 or 3 months. You don't even have to refrigerate it. But after that, if you want to extend it longer, they say you can refrigerate it or freeze it, and it will go, a lot more months. So that's just another point. It's also great not only for home work, really great for travel. The packets will fit into your suitcase, your purse, your briefcase, your backpack very easily. So it's really pretty cool. And I know Dr. Greger, like he'll take them with him when he travels, and when he's either on the airplane or when he's at a hotel, and just use, boiling water, have him bring him some hot water and he'll just mix it and do it. Okay, next slide. This is a very, very simple, this comes at least with the first order. It's a very easy two-sided instruction sheet. It's very simple. It tells you exactly what to do and how to enhance it and all that kind of stuff. So that's really, it's really simple, really good. Okay, next one. This is kind of a weird sheet. This was my original order form of all the pieces that I got, or all the meals that I got. And what I did was I decided I wanted to know which of these ones I'm going to like and which ones I'm not going to like, if any. So what I did was I started rating each one on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being excellent. And so that's what that is. I've rated every one. Some are really, really good. Some are okay. Most of them are good. When we're used to our highly chemically, or well, I don't know how to say it, but our highly processed palate, it takes a while to get into a different way of tasting and thinking and getting away from, all the junk and everything. So anyway, with that sheet, I rated them from 1 to 10. And then I also added some notes on what I would do to make it either better by adding milk or by adding more vegetables or rice or whatever. And then on the left, the far left of that little thing, I actually, when I talked to the company, I asked them what were the 10 most popular items that they sold. And so I listed those in order, and they don't necessarily agree with what I think is the best and so forth. But anyway, people have different palates. Okay, next slide. Okay, these are just two of the ones that I reconstituted with water. And all I did was add water. That was it. And the one on the left is the broccoli Alfredo. The one on the right, I believe, is maybe the golden garlic bean or something like that. Next slide. Same thing. I think one of these might be X-Max. One of them might be, I'm not sure exactly. One of them might be the Madras, or how do you pronounce that? Madras, whatever. Like curry bowl. I think. Okay, next slide. This is what it looked like when I opened my box for the first time. It's in a nice little tight box, very compact, very, efficient. Anyway, next one. This is what the front of the package looks like. And if you'll notice, it really emphasizes whole food plant-based. It emphasizes SOS free, gluten-free, non-GMO, etc. Okay, and you can kind of see what it looks like as the dry ingredients. Okay, the next slide.
I want to note on this slide, Bev, that, on the right-hand side, it says the Tex-Mex Bowl, and right on the top, it says created on. So, you got these things in early March, and this thing was created on March the 1st. So it's amazing ironically, how fresh this stuff is. They freeze dry it and create it and send it out right away.
Well, and in addition to what you just said, when I got one of the bowls, or the first box, it was literally the day that I ordered it on some of the packaging. It was literally that day.
Wow.
So now some of them were maybe 3 or 4 days before that, but some of them were literally that day, which was
pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Okay, next slide. This shows you the back of the package, which again, it just shows a very simple instruction for each meal. How much water to add. You definitely, if it's boiling water or hot water, you want it to definitely get to the boiling stage. And then that you'll see all the ingredients listed that are in the packet, and some of them are pretty surprising, especially on the smoothies, because they've got a ton of stuff in there, and it's all compliant whole food stuff. So they've got a ton of stuff in there. Okay. Let me see. Now, also on the back, you'll notice there's a little QR code. And that's handy because if you want the complete nutritional label, it doesn't come on the back. What comes on the back is the list of ingredients. But if you click on that little barcode, then it will give you the nutritional labels on every meal, and it will take you to the website and give you a boatload of information of just everything, all kinds of questions, all kinds of miscellaneous information they're good to know. On the label, it'll talk, well, go to the next slide for a second, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, this is after I
Yeah,
scanned the QR code. This is what came up.
yeah, and this is the Tex-Mex, which I really like this one. And when I first looked at this label and all the labels, I'm looking at that thinking, oh my gosh, these are loaded in calories, way too much fat, way too much salt, all this stuff. It seemed like it was really not good. But when you really look at it closer, and if you look underneath like the total fat and it's got it underlined, it's another link that tells you that all the fat comes from whole foods, like either nuts or coconut or whatever. And it says the same thing with the salt and the sugar, or not salt and sugars, but like the sugars are from fruits or whatever. So it's all from whole food. It's not from anything that's beyond. So that's, pretty good. And plus, when you look at the calories, that's for one packet. And honestly, that's supposed to be for one meal, but that's for me, and I'm a big volume eater, that was too much food once you put the water in. Usually it'll be 2 or even 3 servings, in my opinion.
I can
So,
attest to that. Grace Ann and I had some a couple of weeks ago, and our whole meal for both of us was one packet. So we both got about 300 calories, and obviously some pretty good nutrition here. But to call out, the sodium milligrams is less than the calories, which is great. You have no additional sugars and 26 grams of protein. There's a lot of nutrition in this if you look at the right as well. So,
well, and if you go back to what the ingredients were in that, Mike,
uh-huh.
I mean, there's a ton of ingredients that are listed. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So on the just to your point, you were talking about the smoothie. So in there is bananas, pineapples, dragon fruits, oranges, flaxseed, northern beets, great northern beets, oats, gavas, beets, passion fruit, kale, broccoli, sweet potatoes, turmeric, mustard, and a little bit of black pepper and B12. So you're right. I mean, there's a ton in there.
Well, and of the smoothies, those are the ones that I like the least. I really
Mhm.
like the green smoothie that you taught me how to make, Mike. That's really the best one, I think. But the smoothies are a little funky to my taste,
Gotcha.
and it might be because of those strange ingredients, but it depending on a person's palate. I mean, some people probably love them, and I might learn to love them, but I just don't love them yet.
Right.
Okay, let's see the next slide.
This just shows you the ratio of how big these are. That's my hand, but I forgot earlier, you could see Dr. Greger holding it as well. So you can see that the size is a pretty decent size.
Yeah, it's small enough that you really can put it in a, purse or briefcase or whatever, backpack, and it's not going to take up much room. Suitcase. I mean, it really is pretty efficient. So,
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like much when you've got it in the hand, but when you put the water in it, it's a lot.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So, okay. Okay, just miscellaneous. Oh, then the barcode. That's on the back of each packet. It will take you to the LeafSide website, and it gives you a ton of information, way more than you probably would want to know. But it gives you nutritional labels. It gives you, a lot of questions that come through that are good to know. And it's got the complete list of products and, all the stuff that you need to know. So it's really pretty good. And if you ever want to call the company, there's the phone number. They are there our time, Midwest time or Central Daylight Time, from noon to 2, Monday through Friday. And they're the gal that I talked to was very accommodating, very sweet, just really helpful. So anyway, The one thing I did not ask about, and I was just thinking about this today that I wish I had, was if when people reconstituted this, if they ever used it like for baby food.
Gotcha.
But I didn't ask that, so I don't know right now. But anyway, okay, so miscellaneous stuff real quick. The subscription service is once a month. You can change it or cancel it anytime. You can get you get a 2-day notice before your renewal, so that's handy. Whenever you order, you need to order a minimum of 12 items. So that might be prohibitive for some people. It can be a variety, or it can be the same item. So that's good to know. When you do have a subscription, you can get a 10% discount each month. The subscriptions, the gal told me, they're really best for people who either don't like to cook, don't want to cook, or for whatever, have difficulty cooking like me, because it's an issue of mobility and balance and stuff. So it makes it easier. Okay. Also, I tend to like sweet and spicy for the most part. That's kind of the palate that I'm drawn to. Some are more salty, but I'm not. But the ones that I really liked the best were the savory bowls, surprisingly, and the soups, and then the sweet bowls. I wasn't real fond, like I said, of the smoothies. They're okay. I would eat them, and I do, but they're just not my favorite. So anyway, sometimes taste was not an immediate like wow factor when I tasted some of these, because I think it's really because I'd either eaten something sweet or I'd had something that was processed. And so my palate was not as natural and clean as it should have been, maybe. But I did find that like on some of these, you definitely want to go for 10 minutes with the steeping, because it's really got to blend and mix and everything. And then you've got to mix it really well or stir it really well in addition. But sometimes if you would wait just, a little bit later, it would even be better. And sometimes like I'd put it in the fridge and use it the next day, and it was better. Like it would blend a little more. So that's just something to kind of think about. I don't know if you all have, but I use one of those hot water kettles, which are fantastic. You just put the water in. It takes 1 to 2 minutes max, and it's boiling. And then you can just pour it over the bowls or whatever. And then the final thing, you can add more ingredients. Like actually you can use a packet for like a meal starter. And then you could add other vegetables or rice, whatever, to, extend the meal. And it really is convenient for that purpose. Let's see. And then the other thing is, this is just kind of a side thing, but if anybody ever would want to try them, but you don't want to buy the whole subscription or whatever, I will be happy to share. If you let me know ahead of time, I would let you know. I would be happy to put 1 or 2 items in my order, and I would be willing to share. So you wouldn't have to, if you just wanted to try them or whatever. So that's really about it. Anybody got any thoughts or questions?
Yeah, do you mix it in a bowl or in the package?
You mix it in a bowl. You pour the ingredients into a bowl, and then you cover it with the water after it's been boiling. And then you stir it really, really well. And you're supposed to cover the bowl. I haven't been really great at that. I've been using, like a notebook or whatever that I've got on my kitchen table that I can just use as kind of the lid to keep the moisture in. But there are bowls there are like really nice little bowls that you can get that do have covers for them, like stainless steel bowls and stuff. But you want a decent sized bowl. I mean, because a lot of these you reconstitute it with maybe 2 cups of water sometimes. Or today I actually did 1 soup that was 2.5 cups of water. So you have to have a pretty decent sized bowl, because with the ingredients and then the water, it's got a lot of volume.
Oh, and there is no added salt or no added sugar, correct?
The only sugar that they've got in there, it comes from fruit. And then the only salt they do, there's a couple that seem a little salty. There's only one that I found that had higher sodium than it did calories. And that was only by about 30 milligrams or whatever. But they use miso, and they use like sea salts from miso or something. I don't know. But when you click on the salt thing on the label, it'll tell you what they use in it. But it's not like table salt or anything like that.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
What other questions for Bev?
So I'm on their website. So it looks like one packet is like $10. Does that sound right?
Yes.
And
And
Go ahead.
that sort of seemed high to me at first. But when you really, I don't think it's one serving. They say it's one serving, but it's really more like two to me. So, and like with the subscription that where it said $10, $9.99, it really was $8.99 with the subscription.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad at all, especially if you said minimum of 12. So
Yes.
it'd basically be, I mean, I don't know if they add on any fees or taxes or delivery or any of that, but
a small delivery fee, but it's not bad.
yeah, because that would only be, I mean, we were paying $49 a week for basically 6 every plate meals, but this would be a lot less expensive than that. So
with the
that's
ones
really
that
cool.
you got, Christina, was it, did it like come with fresh ingredients or did it come with oil? Or, I mean, did you add oil or anything?
Yes, it was fresh ingredients, fresh fruits and vegetables. But we did a lot of alterations. Like we would use our own plant-based cream cheese or plant-based sour cream or whatever. Cause we would get the vegetarian meals, but there was a lot of like dairy. So we would just substitute it. And the other thing I have recently not loved as much is it's kind of a lot of work. Like I get like cooking is great and stuff, but I don't necessarily want to do it like every single night. So that's something I like about this too. You kind of just
if I'm
some
gonna
water.
cook, now to be honest, when I cook, I think my meals taste better, honestly, but it's way too much work to do it all the time.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
this is nice for once or twice a week.
Right. And this is also nice, like in the morning when you're trying to get out to work fast and,
Yeah.
Also good when you're traveling. It's great I think if you were camping, I think it would be great. So it definitely, with the convenience of it, I do. And the simple way of putting it together with just water is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
We're eating like the spacemen. I think they have freeze dried.
That's true.
Or the ancient, I don't know who, the ancient folks used to do freeze drying too, way back in the day. I don't know if they still do, but anyway, if those ancient people still use the freeze drying, I don't know.
You can take it on vacation or take it to space.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. So I guess it sounds like that whole freeze drying doesn't take any of the nutrients out. I mean, it wouldn't be
apparently
healthy.
Apparently, I did not know this either. And I don't know if this is absolutely true, but apparently freeze drying is, if you're not eating it fresh, apparently freeze drying and then freezing too at its peak, its peak harvesting or whatever. Those are like the best ways to keep food in storage or whatever, apparently. So it's supposed to be really, really good.
On the website I'm looking at too, it just talks about, that's one of the frequently asked questions. It's about freeze drying process and the health of it. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah. But I do like this for like trips and such, because
definitely.
it's hard to eat out every meal when you're on vacation, and this would be a good alternative. I'm really interested in this for when we go to California, because there's many times where we're carrying our food in and hiking all day, and that would be a good alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when you're traveling, sometimes you get somewhere at night and there's nothing open.
Right.
You can't get to a grocery store. The only thing that's open is a McDonald's. So this would be great to have on a trip for sure. I'm very interested as well. I thank you, Bev, for previewing this for us.
And saying all this, I mean, I hesitate because I want food to taste fantastic, and the thing is, with the changing of the palate as we get cleaner and cleaner with our eating, this is really good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Some of it is better than others, you know,
Mhm.
but for the most part, I'd say there were probably 10 different meals that I really liked, to the
Mhm.
point that and all the meals, even the ones I didn't really care for, I would give like a 5 or 6 out of a 10,
Yeah,
where the others I would give 7, 8, and in some cases 9 or 10 out of 10.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
I did try one of the meals, and it was one of the ones that Bev said that I think got a 6 out of 10 in flavor. So it's interesting. Grace Ann and I tried it. She did not care for the taste, but I thought the taste was so intense. I was really surprised at how intense the flavors were. It really tasted a lot like pesto cavatappi from Noodles and Company. It was that real strong pesto taste, which I enjoy a great deal. I felt as though I needed to add some noodles, to be honest with you, to the actual soup or whatever stew I was eating, because it was just that intense. But to me, where I was thinking, oh, this is going to be freeze dry, it's going to be kind of stale, there's not going to be very much intense flavor. It was very intense flavor, which I thought was really good. And then the QR code that you see on your screen, which of course will be on the recording, that's the main QR code. When you hit that, it'll take you right to their main website. And of course, as Bev has talked to these individuals, that's the main phone number as well. So any other final questions for Bev?
I just had a note, Dad, what you just said about adding noodles. Like I was thinking that too, if you like wanted to use 2 packets a week or something, but there's 2 people in the house, like I feel like that would be such an easy way to make it last longer or make a bigger meal, like add noodles or rice or something.
well, and even like soups tonight, I was thinking it would be good over a potato, like a baked potato.
Absolutely.
So
Bev, can we get access to your 10 favorite ones you were talking about?
if I can remember them, I wrote them down. I know the Tex-Mex, I really like that. I like the sweet potato dal soup. I'd have to see the list of food. Let me
We'll be in touch. That's okay. We'll be in touch. I'll email
you
you.
can email me, Bev, and then I can forward that on as well.
okay, yeah. Well,
That's
and
no
that
problem.
list, Mike, that you've got, it tells you like which ones, just from the 9 and 10 or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll look at that.
Yeah, that'll be on the screen. They can see that as well. That's a good point. So
Yeah.
very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much, Bev. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And like I said, a number of my clients in the past several years have tried the various, and I know, Bev, you said you want to maybe even try some other different services and stuff, but I'm thinking about what Claire said. Boy, how convenient when you're traveling and it's late at night and you're like, man, what am I going to do? Well, if you throw some little bit of water in a microwave, you got yourself a meal right there. And I could attest to the volume of food. I like to eat a lot of food, and Grace Ann and I both just had 1 packet between the 2 of us, and I was very full after that as well. So,
And by the way, Mike, the packets that you guys got, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the one I rated that like a 5 or 6 or something.
right.
And I think that's one of the newer items, if I'm not mistaken. That was actually on the list of 23 items. That was actually 22 in
Gotcha.
terms of the most popular and everything, but it was also a newer item. So
Yeah. Interesting.
anyway.
Very cool. All right. Why don't we switch gears? This is a picture of all of us the other night when we went out to eat together. It was a lot of fun. And I want to just focus for a little bit on eating out. So let's talk about the benefits of eating out, right? Because there certainly are a number of those. I just want to give complete transparency of, I want to talk about the benefits, I want to talk about the challenges, and then I want to talk about potential solutions. And I certainly have no problem with giving you guys thoughts and ideas that I have, but this is about supporting of each other. I think probably everybody on this call likes to eat out and enjoy time with, even if it's by ourselves, but with friends and family and such. So let's just throw out some ideas of what are some of the benefits of eating out.
Well, it's definitely fun. You don't
Right.
have to cook. You don't have to clean the dishes or whatever.
Yeah.
So
It's just a way of fellowshipping with other people. I
Yeah.
feel like that is food is always involved. And that's one thing that my husband and I have always said, we're not stopping being with people because of the way we eat. So
Definitely. I love that. Very cool. What else comes to mind?
the taste, I mean,
Okay,
when you go
yeah.
to a restaurant, usually it's pretty darn good.
You enjoy it, right? Definitely. Or they're not going to be in business much longer, right? Definitely.
Right.
Yeah. So it's fun. We don't have to cook it. We don't have to clean. That's nice. Fellowship with others, and we enjoy the taste.
Plus you get to sample things that you would probably never sample otherwise.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
but you'd never make something. So it kind of expands your creative
Yeah,
experiences.
yeah, definitely. Sample new items. Anything else come to mind?
Sometimes you might have live music involved.
There
There
we
might be
go.
other activities going on.
Yeah, perfect. And I would say probably everybody in this call from time to time loves to eat out. And I love Kimberly's point. Just because we eat this way, we're not going to miss the opportunity to spend time with her husband or other family members or friends. This is certainly can be a little bit of a challenge as we're trying to eat as healthy as possible, but that's not going to stop us from having that important fellowship time with our friends and family. So we talked about some of the good stuff, some of the fun stuff. Let's talk about some of the challenges with eating out. And this is anything at all that comes to mind.
All the hidden stuff in the food that you don't
Okay.
realize is in there.
Yeah, what are some examples of hidden stuff?
Well, we like Core Life, and we're big roasted sweet potato people.
Yeah.
And I found out that they put sugar on them, and I don't
Wow.
like.
Okay, there you go.
But it's like today I ate out with a friend that came to town, and I thought getting this bowl would be good. And the more I ate it, I'm like, wow, they like put a lot of oil in this. You could
Gotcha.
tell.
Okay.
So just little added things like that you don't realize is going to be in
Right.
it.
Yeah. You
There
don't
can
have
be-
the control, right?
Yeah, there can be a ton of oil when you
Yeah.
think, I mean, some of the Asian meals that I get, I'll tell them, as less oil as possible.
Uh-huh.
And even still, sometimes it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see the beads, if you touch it and do the snap test
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever, it's pretty
It's a little
greasy.
slippery.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else
But
come
it's
to mind
good.
as challenges?
Cost.
Cost. Okay. Yeah, a little more pricey than eating in within the four walls of your house. Yeah.
Well, plus you have
Finding-
to wait in line.
Finding something healthy to eat is my problem.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes the only option is iceberg lettuce.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Without the dressing.
Without the dressing. Just a bowl of iceberg lettuce. That's what I'll have.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Anything else come to mind as challenges with eating out as we're trying to be as our most healthy, price sensitive people, right?
I think convincing our friends and family to go to places that have better options for us.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like the Impossible Burger is about getting pretty standard out there, but still it's filled with fillers and such.
Yeah.
So it's still hard to find like 100% pure. So
Right. Definitely. Okay. So here's what I got. Challenges with eating out. There's lots of hidden stuff. So you had mentioned Kimberly sugar, oil, and Beverly accentuated that as well. I added salt, which we all know there's a lot of salt, oil, and sugar and all that stuff. Because we don't know, because we're not making it, there could be chemicals in that as well. Christina brought up the challenge with price or cost as it relates to purchasing the food versus making it yourself. Finding something or somewhere where they have some healthy options. That certainly can be a challenge if you're wanting to eat as healthy as possible, whole food, plant-based. And then really working with friends and family to find better options. Great point, Kimberly, that the Impossible Burger is starting to become more ubiquitous, which is nice that it doesn't have animal products, but a misnomer is that people think, well, because it's not animal and because it's plant-based, it's very healthy. And in reality, it's actually not very healthy at all. it's nice it's not an animal product, but the actual options are difficult and challenging with working with friends and family to go to locations that really kind of give you some of the better, more healthy options. So as we transition, let's just talk for a few minutes. You're going to go out with a buddy. Let's say you and a buddy are going to go out for lunch or dinner, right? What are potential solutions to anything related to the challenges with going out? And it doesn't have to be a challenge we've already mentioned. It could be something else as well. Let's just share. What do you think?
Well, next week I'm going out to dinner with somebody I used to work with. And she said, you pick. And so I gave her two options, Mexican and I forget what the other thing was. And I even picked the restaurant. This one or this one. So I knew it was a place that I could get something, either place. And the second solution is I know some other people on this call are on it too. The Springfield Vegetarians and Vegan Facebook group, they're also associated with Project Animal Freedom. But once a month, they do a dinner somewhere in the Springfield area. I think they have gone to like Lincoln. They've gone to a couple other towns, but mainly in Springfield.
Yeah.
And their purpose is not only for people to know who, makes an effort in the fact of, vegetarian, like eating, vegetable-based eating, but it also shows that there is a market. Now they've got another one coming up. I'm out of town, so I won't be able to, but oh gosh, I'm totally blank. The Mexican restaurant in Chatham. Yes.
La Fiesta.
Yes. And I went to that one the last time they did it. They probably had 80 people there.
Wow.
And
They actually said they
we
had
had that.
100.
We had that. It might have been more. And they had this huge buffet. And I mean, you could ask everything. I tried almost everything just because I wanted to try everything. I didn't say which doesn't have oil, but they were very accommodating. Like I could have asked that, but I was really interested to taste everything.
Nice.
It was amazing. And so they're doing it again. And I think they had done it for a full year where they went to different restaurants. And their whole group voted that the La Fiesta was the best of them all. And so I that's kind of like, if you're on that website, even if you don't go to their monthly dinner or lunch, whatever they do, like they went to Harvest Market last month and I couldn't go, but it looked very interesting. They had come up with several things. So again, it's showing stores and restaurants that there is a market out there for people who don't want to eat chicken fingers,
right,
and hamburgers. So
that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I'm a member of that group, but there's a lot there that you said that I wasn't aware of. So that's awesome. All right. What other solutions do we have for the challenges with eating out?
Well, you can call ahead. You can also check Happy Cow, which is an app that tells you like what local restaurants focus on vegetarian or vegan meals. So that's kind of, before you go, maybe to check the menu and look and see what you want to eat before you get there, perhaps.
So Happy Cow?
Happy Cow. Yeah. I've used it when we've traveled too, and it will tell you what places are around as well when you're traveling. So there are places, but yeah, I use Happy Cow as well.
It's happycow.net. And it says #1 app for finding vegan food. So yeah, that's awesome. And it'll tell you on the menu of that particular restaurant what items that are vegan and such, which is really wonderful.
Another source I use is TripAdvisor, which you can use that for hotels or anything. But if you go under restaurants in a certain city that you're in, you can go underneath the settings and put in if you want it to be breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever of a place, as well as they have a vegan option as well. So
Awesome.
that kind of, and sometimes their idea of vegan and mine is a little different, but
Right.
I at least get to look at their menus in advance.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Very cool. What other potential solutions do we have for eating out?
Well, I wrote down a whole list. Should I just go through them or should I just let other people do their thing?
We can do both. Why don't you share a couple with us?
Okay, well, let's see. Sides can be a meal, rather than, a main entree. Sometimes just the sides like baked potato with salad and, chili or
Yeah.
veggie chili, whatever. I mean, just the sides sometimes.
Yeah.
If you know that you want to try the desserts or whatever, and that's why you're going there or you're excited about that, you can share them.
Mhm.
Certainly share the appetizer, share the dessert, just have a taste,
Yeah.
perhaps. When you first get there, it depends on where you sit, but either have the bread and everything removed, or if everybody else is wanting it, then let it be there, but just try to have it out of your reach,
Sure.
so you're not, let's see, divided the meal in half, package up half to take it home before you
Okay.
even start eating it. And I always ask if they can prepare it without oil, or if it's a saute or whatever, if they can do a water saute or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes they say no, but then sometimes some of the places actually will,
Yeah.
which, is nice. So,
Definitely.
and then one of the things, just as you're going through the meal, try to think about if you're really still hungry, and really focus on the people, focus on the environment, focus on the conversations as opposed to the food so much.
Yeah. Love that.
Okay, and I'll stop and let other people talk, and then if other people don't have it, I've got a few more.
What other solutions do we have?
I have a salad bar place that I go to, and I have a Chinese restaurant that I go to that's local here. And I take along a little container of brown rice to the Chinese restaurant, and I don't order the deep fried egg roll that comes with the lunch meal.
Okay.
And get the tofu and vegetables, and you can get the sauce on the side. This is an ideal Chinese restaurant. And I'll take the little cup of rice and don't order the egg roll. And then at the salad bar buffet that I went to today, I took along my own dressing in a little container in my
Yeah.
purse, and oil free, of course, and yeah, just some balsamic vinegar and
Yeah.
That's great. Even just
and
seasoning packets or something that you might have made up or something. That's really excellent, Susan.
yeah, I could take beans. I thought about taking beans too, but I went ahead and ate. And you can also eat your beans beforehand before you go, and then just eat the salad bar or whatever,
Right.
So that's an option as well, but that's what
Right.
I do.
Great ideas. Thank you.
One thing that I was thinking about is you kind of want to be cautious of going all in, like, oh, this is a special occasion. So I'm just going to go all in. I'm going to have everything I want, and it's just going to, and sometimes maybe that's okay, but not too much, so,
Yeah.
Because with that, you can do the appetizers, you can do the desserts, you can do the drinks. So just be aware that all those things are kind of adding up or whatever.
Yeah. Both to your tummy and your pocketbook, right?
Right. Especially the drinks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So let's close it out in just the next few minutes. Why don't we anybody that's got any other ideas, in interest of time, just make sure we're protecting folks' time. What other ideas do we have as solutions for the challenges of eating out?
Drink water during the meal. Eat a little maybe ahead of time before you go to
Okay.
the restaurant.
Okay.
Be mindful in your eating, pay attention to the taste, the textures,
Mhm.
slow, move it,
Yeah.
take it slow, focus on the conversation, focus on the company, the atmosphere, whatever. Possibly, ideally, avoid all you can eat buffets, but sometimes we want to do those. So that's maybe not the best.
Great ideas, Bev. Thank you so much.
Oh, I got one too. Don't sit facing the pie case. That was another thing I did. They got a lovely pie case sitting there, and don't face whatever it is you're eating when you sit down at the restaurant. Whatever it is you can't have, don't sit there and face it.
Yeah, great idea.
Right.
Along that same idea, one of the things I actually was told that is helpful is if you order first rather than let other people order, because when other people order first, you'll say, oh, I want that. Oh, I want to try that. So if you order first, then you don't get caught into that
Yeah.
experience of, oh, if they're going to have it, I'm going to have it, or whatever.
That's a really good point. Wow, that's I never thought of that, but that makes sense.
I look at the menu in advance before I go.
Okay.
And then sometimes I don't even, when I'm given the menu at the restaurant, I don't even look at it because I'll get to see all the other things that I would really like to have. So
I'm hungry. Yeah, definitely. Great idea. So you already know ahead of time. You don't even open that book up. So cool. Anything else?
The food ways of preparation that you want are grilled, poached,
Okay.
steamed.
Yeah. Grilled versus like fried, right?
Right. Yeah. You want to look for things that are not crispy, not creamy. You want, steamed, boiled or broiled, grilled, no oil, roasted, poached, whatever.
Definitely. Okay. Last time, anybody else, anything else?
This is the last one that I think I can think of, but think about the 50-50 plate, maybe a little bit where where you are definitely going to be eating at least half vegetables.
Okay.
Maybe half starch, or so your potato with your vegetables, or your rice with your vegetables, or your whatever.
Yeah. So I wrote out most of these, but I think I probably have around 20 or 21 really good ideas. So I really appreciate folks coming to the table literally coming to the table to give ideas and suggestions to overcome the challenges with the eating out. One thing I would like to just add one idea that's going to seem probably a little bit of a paradox, and that is, it's not like Bev said for me, where I'm like, all bets are off and I'm just going to go crazy with it. That's not actually true, but it's kind of true for me. I don't really eat meat when I go out to eat, but I don't really worry so much about anything else because 90% of my meals, I'm fueling my body from what's going on within the four walls of my house. And that's what works best for me. And that doesn't necessarily mean it works best for anybody on this call or anybody listening online. But for me, I'm going to go down and see Christina and Evan in Orlando. I'm probably going to have some seafood, right? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm probably going to have some drinks and enjoy, like Bev said, let's enjoy the time we're there with friends and family and such. So those times are minimal, but I'm going to really cherish those times and really leverage that ambiance in that restaurant with those individuals. And, ironically, not worry so much. I mean, of course, I don't really eat meat per se, unless I'm going to Orlando, but not worry so much about the salt, oil, and sugar, because in the scheme of things, at least the way I rationalize it in my head, I'm having really healthy foods that I'm cooking for myself and for my wife almost all the time. I'm moving, I'm drinking lots of water, and by golly, there's going to be times when I'm just not going to worry about it and just enjoy that time with the family. So that's just an option, but it's minimal. The reason why I say that is because I'm not eating out 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. And some people are because of the way their lifestyle is and they're so crazy busy. So I think a lot of these ideas could potentially go a long way to help folks with solutions to make this work. One that surprised me that I thought was such a great idea, I think Bev said it, and that is eat a little bit before you go out. So when you go out, maybe you just have a salad or just a small portion of a meal because you've already gotten a really good meal ahead of time, which I had not even thought about that, but that's just such a great idea where you can still enjoy that time with friends and family and maybe just make a little dent to the salt, oil, and sugar category of your body. So very cool. I think that's it. I think we're going to close it out. I know we went a little over tonight, but I really appreciate everybody on the call and the ideas and suggestions folks sent out. And we're going to go ahead and close it out. But thank you guys so much. You guys take care and we will talk soon. All right.
Thank you guys all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank